Hey everybody, Brian here from quantlabs.net. Just been playing around for the last half hour on how to generate inflow data into Simulink using a file and a workspace. So I'll show you what I've got. So if you have been following me, I've been creating this TIX database, TIX table that just basically captures, in this case, government, GOVT, and it just every 30 seconds it pulls Yahoo Finance and it stores that tick information into this table. So this is just one example. I'll show you why this query is important to me right now. So it's going to go in, retrieve the 5 latest ticks from the ticks table with all this information, yeah, it's getting populated every 30 seconds, okay? So just be aware of that that's being fed in from Yahoo Finance live while the markets are opening right now. Now, if you haven't seen this, I've done a posting on this particular app that is generating this data and populating it into the ticks table. Is this cardstock app that I grabbed from a website called Jarlu, made some modifications. Last day today to get this script really cheap. Otherwise, after that, I'm closing it off and just making it only available for my members. So it's populating the database with all these particular assets, including the government one, which is a T-bond, and that's it right there. So that is how that's working on the Postgres side using Yahoo Finance. So when we go into Matlab, in this particular case I'm using Matlab 2014, the ability to be able to capture data from a database is very easy. I'll just show you a quick way how to do it. Just go in, look for your database explorer, and then from there you need to create your data source name or your DSN on your Windows. And typically what will happen is you can capture your database info from the DSN and do that through this application called Database Explorer. Let me just try to pull it up here. While it's having a connection, it seems here we are. Here's a Database Explorer. Actually, maybe it's locked up here. Oh, here, that's what the problem was. Okay, so what I've got here, I've created my DSN called this Postgres SQL 30 test. So just put in your credentials. And what I'll do is I'll connect into the database. So I connect into it. Actually, I've done demos on this before. Let me think here if this does work or not. Test user. Okay, looks like we've got something here. Okay, so I'm assuming we've connected into it. Let me think here how to go about imported data, help. Oh, man, I'm a little blind here, sorry. Okay, so this is my database. So I'm gonna go into test, go into the test database. Hang on here. Yes, so this is my database here. And then you can go into ticks. This is a little wonky how they've designed this. Eventually you get there. Let me just try this one. Okay, here we go. So we have my ticks database or table here. So if I go all, here's all my information that I want for, so I got 26,643 rows. I can set a condition here. So in my case, I'll just go government, GOVT, as I showed you in the Postgres client there, the Razor SQL. I'm going to put it into, let's say, a table. I'm going to call it table or something like that. Or just, I don't know, out table or something like that. And then I can do an import. So it's done a query into out table. So if I look at my my workspace here, here's all the available rows for my out table. So I've got all the instances of my bid, 1299. If I want to look at volume, or my other case, previous close, that's all there. Now with the Database Explorer, it's kind of cool because where's my database? So here in my Database Explorer, I've got the ability. I've got the ability to not only name the table, I can have it stored in any kind of these cell structure, cell arrays, structure, numeric, whatever I want. And not only that, the powerful thing is I have the ability to generate SQL code from it, just like that. That's the query that you'd send to your database. Or, let's see here. Down here. So my Database Explorer, so not only can I import or export really to, I can create a Matlab M Script, okay? So with that M Script, I have the ability to generate all the query and generate an M Script that I can run in my Matlab workspace or as a function or as a script, be able to import that data. Very powerful. And you see how quick it is to be able to create that. Okay, so I'm going to tear down these Database Explorer, free up some workspace here. So with that in mind, what I've done is I have a script built the same way. Here's a script that I showed you in my Postgres here, my Razor. So it's the results are this. So I only want, let's say, 5. Now, the advantage is with this, I can basically not only bring in a certain selection of rows and whatever my query is, I can also be able to generate another Matlab script. So basically, while it was running, now remember I got my cardstock running, right? So that's still populating into the ticks table, right? So if I fire up this demo script, what it does is it'll beep, it'll grab the 5 latest from, let's say, government. In this case, I've hard-coded it, and then I'll just display the inflow results. So basically what I'm doing is, here's the script. The output is into this ticks array, and then it will do some manipulation to create now an inflow case, which is this result here of just previous close and volume. Because if you blow up the ticks workspace, and here open selection. Do it. Oh, I think I have to stop this. Yeah, so here's the ticks. It looks like it's a table type. So if you go under 13 and 14, it's going to extract those columns, previous close and volume. Okay. So with that in mind, let me just fire up the script again. That's what it's doing. It's extracting the ticks, the 13th and 14th column. As I showed you, the previous close and the volume. Outputs them into this new table or whatever the data type is. Data type is actually structure. Outputs it to outflow close and to pause. And I'll just wait 25 seconds because this will match pause, the number of timing of the pause on the polling on to Yahoo with card stock. So I'm just matching that up. But again, I can control how often I want to pull Yahoo Finance in the database through these parameters. All right, so that's what this is doing. Now, where does this lead me to? Okay, so because I'm now moving into Simulink, for inflow, my idea is, okay, so this is the Simulink library of blocks, and then we also have the title, the Simulink canvas. So there's numerous ways to get inflow data from the workspace. So what I'm thinking of doing is using this block from workspace. So I just enter in whatever the structure is, and then that will do it real time. And so I can build systematic models from that, and at the end of it, with my outflow, be able to build the trading decision or the signal on the order, and then be able to send that to some kind of OMS or some kind of engine that will process that order. The other big challenge is still, okay, there's really two algorithms at play here in Simulink. You have your inflow of data coming in. Now, before I forget to mention, this is really important. When you're looking at systems, there's usually something called a rolling window. In my case, I've set this rolling window of 5, okay? And that's all determined based upon my query from the database. So in this case, I'm only grabbing the 5 most recent results, or 5 rows from the ticks data table, okay? So it's only going to get the 5 latest. So every time it updates this structure, this guy right here, the inflow close, it's in its own way maintaining a rolling window of the 5 latest from the ticks file, which is essentially a virtual way of developing a stream of market data coming in. This way, I'm not really paying for it, I'm just using Yahoo. But when I do go into a production environment, I can use something like IKFeed, Bloomberg, Reuters, and be able to use some form of a stream, feed it into maybe a database, put it onto a message queue or a message bus using 0MQ, and then be able to have the production Simulink model, be it an EXE, so be able to interface with a real world message bus using something like 0MQ and feed that into the systematic model with all these algorithms, submodels, and all that, whatever. And then at the end of it, have a result returning into a outflow, which is again the signal. So basically what I'm talking about is, as I said, there's 2 really algorithms in this type of systematic model. First, you have a model that basically listens to the market, to these data, to the data flows I've shown you here, and then there's going to be an algorithm at play that will be doing a series of calculations, whatever it is, basically a trading strategy or trading rules or trading logic, and then it's going to make a market decision under a certain condition that it will generate a signal to put a position on. Once that position is put on, then that first algorithm has done its job. So you got to maintain that state and move it into a second algorithm, which basically means that the second algorithm now has to maintain the state of that market order, and then have another set of algorithms running, or one basically large algorithm that will then make a decision at some point under market conditions to exit that position. So that is basically your model, your Simulink model when it comes to trading using Simulink. So it's really not one but 2 models or 2 algorithms in play. First, you have your inflow that is listening to the market, and it's going to have the algorithm. Again, I'm just repeating what I've been saying. You have your first algorithm. Let me just stop this beeping here. So, as I was saying, the first algorithm. So let me repeat this again. Maybe I should type this out somehow. Okay, it's kind of confusing if I don't have a kind of some kind of representation to it. So basically what I'm saying is you have your inflow of your market data, right? Market data. Right? And then basically what happens is your market data, be it through a database, be it through a message queue, and then from there you're going to have your Simulink model, right? Which is one big model, and then you have two subsystems within that model. So at the end of it, there's going to be an order. Actually, let me just do this. So you're going to have a Simulink model. So there's going to be two algorithms within the Simulink model. There's going to be algo 1, let's do that, which is basically listening to the inflow market data, right? It's going to have a set of conditions that will say, okay, now we need to generate a market order. So as a market order gets placed, right? And that puts the position on. So it puts on a position, right? So then what? You got to exit that position. So you're going to have an algo 2, basically, that needs to maintain the state of that market order, maintain a state of market order or position. You know, it's basically the same thing. And then have it run through a set of conditions to do the exit for market exit or take off position. Okay, so at the same time, this algo is still going to need to listen to inflow market data, but it needs to maintain that state of that algo and the position, and have another set of algorithms running so that it'll say, okay, once this event or this condition is met, we put off the position and exit the market, or take off the position or exit. So it's essentially how that would work on the Simulink side. So each Simulink model for trading needs to be built, has to have basically two algos. One algo to listen to the market as that data flow of this stuff, the close or whatever you're listening to, and at the same time, once those conditions are met, puts on the position, enters in the market, or market entry, right? And then again, they'll pass that order into this second algorithm here, and that second algo needs to listen still to the market of the inflow market data, and then it's going to have its own set of algos, or one algo or whatever, and it's going to try to do the market exit to take off the position. So it's essentially, in a nutshell, how these models will need to work. And there's numerous ways to build these out with Simulink. It's very powerful, but that generally is how you boil it right down to the market order process and the life cycle of a model in Simulink with two algos, one for the entry, one for the exit. And that's pretty well it. And then again, you're going to have other plumbing, I guess you could say, to maintain things like risk, maintain your portfolio, so on and so forth. And that can easily be built into using Matlab itself, and having everything talk to each other. Now, the benefit of this piece here of the Simulink model, this can be deployed onto numerous options. This is why I really like it, and I've always liked it. With Simulink model, you can either go C or C++ and generate a DLL or some kind of library for Linux, let's say, or you can create your FPGA HDL code, your hardware description language, either in Altera or Xilinx. which are obviously the two mainstream manufacturers for FPGA boards, and then those can be deployed. Now, the thing is, with 2015A, which came out from Matlab, that also has a built-in synthesis process now, which never existed, and that right there completes the whole life cycle of deploying a trading model using Simulink, visual representation, and then be able to deploy it throughout the whole life cycle of that development process, be able to generate a Simulink model, and again, be able to output it into C or C++ into your own software, or using the FPGA HDL. Okay, and it's getting better and better every version of Matlab. It's pretty impressive. So this is the thought process on how I'm proceeding, so I can throw out all the charting stuff and all the database stuff outside the simple apps that I've got here, using something like a cardstock, which I built, God, only a week ago, and of course something like a Postgres database, just for simplistic and testing. And as I said, be able to generate my own equivalent of a market data feed from Yahoo Finance, and then be able to build out some pretty sophisticated Simulink models for trading algorithms or trading logic or whatever. So that's a thought process. Just thought I'd put that out there, and hopefully people can see the power of it all. Okay, and I can throw in all this other crap of, as I said, all this development on charting systems and whatever else. It's just, golly gee, you go on and on about it, because with Matlab you can build out some pretty nice charting stuff, not like gorgeous like Infragistics, but pretty decent looking, and you can build it through front ends through tools like Guide from Matlab, and it just goes on and on. Okay, so just hopefully I'll help you out. Talk to you later.